First, it's painful, it's chronic, and it can be tough to get rid of, but there is a way to treat inflammation naturally. And here to tell us how is Dr. Michael Fenster. He is affectionately known as Chef Dr. Mike. He is a cardiologist and a chef. Wonderful to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Susan. So great to be here today.
Oh,
thanks.
wow. You've been doing this a long time. You write a lot of books. You just finished a book. Why did you write this book, and what is it about?
Well, this is called Food Shaman, The Art of Quantum Food. It's an Amazon #1 new release and top 10 bestseller. It just came out a few weeks ago. And it really summarizes a lot of the data and principles and busts a lot of food myths. And more importantly, expands into helping us understand the whole food experience. It's not just what we eat in some isolated test tube. It's about how we eat, with whom we eat. That whole experience affects us and all the little wee beasties that live us, called the gut microbiome.
That's right, and it's fascinating because we were just talking about what we put in our mouths really affects our overall health. And you talk a lot in this book about chronic low-level inflammation. What is that?
So let me take a step back, and if folks are playing dodgeball and they twist their ankle, they're going to have an acute injury. It's going to swell up, and folks may be very familiar with this, a little painful, swelling, red. That's acute inflammation. That's normal. That's a healing response of our body. It's sort of like walking into the room, throwing the light switch on, getting what you need, walking out, throwing the light switch off. But chronic low-level inflammation is insidious. It's like leaving that light switch on all the time, literally burning the candle at both ends. And then what happens is, for our bodies, it's like trying to build sandcastles at high tide. It becomes pro-inflammatory, and we're working against ourselves.
And I love what you just said, because our bodies naturally do that. You know, when we have an injury, it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Exactly right.
When it gets a little swelling, but it becomes a problem when it doesn't go away.
Right, when we get this chronic, continuous low-level inflammation, it's like having that light switch on all the time, and we're burning ourselves out, as it were, and our body shifts into what we call a pro-inflammatory response. A lot of this, as we're just learning now, is due to the things that we eat, how it affects that bacteria in our gut, and we get a leaky gut. And you know, Hippocrates wrote 2,500 years ago that all disease starts in the gut. Turns out he was right.
He was absolutely right. And you had your own pain journey.
I did. You know, I grew up, and I'm going to share my age now, in the days of Hungry Man TV dinners.
Got it.
I was a typical college kid. I went to medical school. My diet wasn't the greatest. Worse yet, in my mind at that time, I was going to be a pro-athletic something or other. And it turns out I'm pretty much just a klutz.
So you tried every sport out there. So
I did. And I managed to get injured in every one. And so not that long ago, I had some surgery for joint injuries. And they were cleaning out the joints. And they said, you know, you're going to need joint replacement in the next few years. Now, I got to tell you, that was over 15 years ago, but it set me out on a path to look for things like diet and then potentially supplements that could help alleviate the inflammation and damage I was suffering from.
So what do you find out there to be the essential nutrients to help reduce joint inflammation?
Well, it really centers around our gut microbiome and making sure that that is healthy. And so that comes first from the foods that we eat. And we want to make sure that they're natural, authentic, real foods. And that's what I talk a lot about.
And you brought some supplements. And this is a part of your daily routine, these
supplements,
it is,
right? And then supplements are great because they can kickstart us and then help maintain us. And these actually came out of my suitcase this morning, so I thought I'd share them with you, because these are things that I take. And one thing that's not there, because it's very new, that I also take is called EasyFlex by 1MD. And that contains 3 very important anti-inflammatories. Folks may know of or heard of turmeric or curcumin, which comes from turmeric. Very powerful anti-inflammatory, been used in Eastern medicine for many years. Works to help lower inflammation. Another one folks may not know is called boswellia, or frankincense, which most people, and when we think of it as an incense that we read about in the Bible. Boy, you know, it smells pretty good. Turns out it's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for 4,000 to 5,000 years to treat respiratory things. Another very important anti-inflammatory that works via a different pathway. And then finally, this contains what's called undenatured collagen type 2. There are different types of collagen, almost 30 different types. So it's important to get the right type. This is what you might find in poultry bone broths, and of course that's a big rage both within food and health circles.
So you can take those and put them back in your suitcase and maybe put them into your daily routine. Wonderful talking with you,
absolutely,
Chef Dr.
pleasure.
Mike. It's been a pleasure. If you are interested in EasyFlex by 1MD, you can call 888-393-4030, or you can log on to 1md.org.